Welcome to episode 6 of our second season on the surnames of Appalachia and the American South. For those of you searching for earlier videos, please write to me at vantagepoint22@gmail.com and I'll send you a catalog that lists each name and the episode in which it was covered. On today's episode, we'll investigate 6 more names that were requested by people just like you. Now, if you're new to the channel, I try to mix in a bit of history and trivia along with the origin and meaning of the surnames. I hope that you will see that while we may be patriotic Americans, we share cultural traits with long dead people who never saw the land of the free and the home of the brave. I hope you'll join me. Number 1, Drury. When I received this request, I immediately thought of a classmate that I had some 50 years ago, but I also had images of a TV show that my grandpa Pop loved to watch. It was The Virginian, and James Drury played the titular character. Now I'm showing my age with this one. It ran from 1962 to 1971. At any rate, the surname Drury arrived in the Isles with the French-speaking Normans in around 1066. In Old French it appeared as anyway, it was derived from sweetheart or flirtation. Now, we must ask if it spread elsewhere in the Isles. We know it's in England. In Ireland, Drury was adopted as an alternate form of, it's a son of a druid. It has no genetic connection to the Norman lines, so it's completely Irish. Drury doesn't appear among the traditional surnames of Scotland or Wales, so I'm confident that your line will lead to England or Ireland with linguistic roots in France. Number 2, Macklin. When I look at Macklin on paper, it just looks incomplete to me. I don't know. It just looks short and incomplete. After doing some research on it, I found that it's either a shortened form of Macklin in Ireland or Maclean in Scotland. But Macklin appears more often in County Armagh in Ireland and Lancashire in England than anywhere else. So, Armagh was heavily settled by the Scots during the plantation era, and Lancaster, England was a cultural hub and economic hub of northwestern England. The city of Lancaster is only 77 miles from the Scottish border, so it was close enough to attract Scottish and Welsh workers during the Industrial Revolution. And by the way, that's where the Industrial Revolution was born, in northern Great Britain. At the end of the day, Macklin is an alternate form of a Scottish or Irish surname that has a solid presence in northern England and Ulster, the 9 northern counties in Ireland. Number 3, Simmons. When you're searching your family tree, look to see how many times various family names crisscross the generations. Let me tell you about an interesting case that started in Virginia but ended in Texas. Simmons College was founded in Abilene, Texas in 1892. It was named after James B. Simons or Simmons, an early financial contributor. It was renamed Simmons University in 1925. That wasn't going to last very long though, and new signage had to be redesigned. Because in 1934 it was renamed Hardin-Simmons University. I thought about going to school there once, a long time ago. And it was named in recognition of the financial support provided by Mary and John Hardin. Now here's what I found that you might find interesting. In Surrey, Virginia in 1710, Colonel John Simmons and Mary Ann Hardin introduced John Simmons Jr. to the world. He later died in North Carolina in 1773, but his family name goes back much further in time and place. Simmons is an alternate form of the Hebrew name Simeon. It first morphed into Simon, and when Simon had a son, an S was added, and so was another M. It was added to the name to make Simmons, or Simons. Although I couldn't find Simmons among the traditional surnames of Ireland, it's listed among the Scottish names of note. However, it has a different origin. The personal name was common among the Frasers of Scotland. The Gaelic version of the name is At the end of the day, I'm confident that your line will take you back to England or Scotland. Number 4, Sykes. My sister's first love was a fellow named Jeff Sykes up in Detroit, Michigan. So Sykes is a name that I heard a lot growing up. There was a time when teenagers would try to freak their friends out, and if it worked, they would screech, "Psyched!" Did that sort of thing happen to you? Or was it just me and my odd circle of friends. But anyway, let me know in the comments section if somebody used to say "psyched" to you, if you got startled or something. To my delight, I found out that Sykes was not given to a freaked out person. Nope, it sure wasn't. Instead, it was given to a dweller by a small watercourse, and the person to whom the name was attached was no sissy either. It was introduced into England by Vikings. At the end of the day, I wasn't able to locate Sykes among the traditional names of Ireland or Scotland or Wales. I'm confident that Sykes is a Viking name from England, probably northern England to be exact. Number 5, Drake. Paul in Ohio, we have finally made it to a name in your tree. Paul has always been supportive of the channel, so I appreciate him and all the folks who often reach out via thumbs up or comments. You put wind in my sails, folks, that's for sure. With all that said, where did Paul's surname originate? As it turns out, Drake has an Anglo-Latin root. Draco, a Latin word for dragon, was introduced into England through Christian missionaries. The word spoken in Old English, Drake has been around since the arrival in Great Britain of the Anglo-Saxons, the Jutes, and the Frisians. In all honesty, I can't stop thinking about pirates, and not the Jack Sparrow variety either. I'm not talking about him. Nope, I'm thinking about Francis Drake, who harassed Spanish ships while circumnavigating the globe in 1577 to 1580. Imagine 3 years, man. That's before the Roanoke colony. I mean, we're talking about way back in time, and this guy and his crew went around the world in 3 years. That's pretty amazing. Anyway, the Spanish called him El Draca, the dragon. By the 1300s, families named Drake were living in Ireland. Now, I couldn't find Drake among the traditional surnames of Scotland or Wales, so I'm confident that your line will lead you to Ireland or England. Number 6, McCall, or McCall. At first glance, I thought McCall would have a simple origin story just like Macklin. Because there's so many spellings, it featured some muddy water to sift through to get to the real meaning. In the end, I think we can appreciate that all the spellings originated in Scotland for the son of Cathal. Now, there are families named McCall and McCall with a C and an A and a C and an O in the Bonnie Land that are not related to each other, so don't think that they're all the same. In Ireland, it can be an alternate form of McCahill. In Ulster's Tyrone and Armagh, it can also be associated with the Gaelic word for Campbell. And that was they were the lords of Argyll in southwestern Scotland over in Strathclyde. Unless your line leads back to the Irish McCahill, there are some Scottish folks sitting on some limbs in your family tree. Well, folks, that's about all I have for you today. I hope you got something meaningful out of the discussion, and will join me again here on the Vantage Point. Until we meet again, may the good Lord bless and keep you. May He make His face shine on you and give you peace. Bye-bye.